While there's always a lot going on in the garden, with a gazillion things needing attention, I reckon the chickens should always get top billing.
G'day, girls. A big part of the productive garden here are the hens. They are such a part of the working machine.
They play so many roles here. They're compost generators, soil aerators, fertilisers, pest controllers, egg layers, and constant entertainers. So they deserve to be well looked after.
After years of temporary fences here that were frankly ineffective and the girls would constantly get over and get into the vegetable garden, we're getting serious about this chook run. It's going to have a roof on it, it's going to be hopefully predator proof, and of course it'll stop other birds getting in as well. And when you design something from the start, it gives you that great opportunity to install lots of little systems for keeping the girls as happy as possible. And one of them, of course, is to provide greens. Now, in spring and summer, you can get greens all around the garden. The weeds pop up everywhere, and of course, they love a bit of fresh grown grass. But in winter, it can be so much harder to keep up the supply. So today, I want to install a little system that can do just that. Of course, planting anything into a chicken run is a big risk. They have no delayed gratification setting and they will eat it straight away. So what I want to do is install a few cages so I can grow plants in the run that are designed for them to eat, but they have enough space and protection to get established before they get access to them. And what I've done is I've actually already made a little folding system. So this is going to be the roof of the cage. This will be the front wall. So then I'm just going to use these sides. I've cut them and they're going to go in and provide that side angle. I'm using one of my favourite new tools. It's a C-clip, it's a fencing tool, and it just wraps a small amount of wire, a little loop around those two pieces, which means they can move quite freely, but they're really securely attached. It essentially makes like a flat pack system that I can fold away when I'm not using it, but it will give those plants a really safe area to grow out of reach of the chickens.
Putting the cage together is simple. I'm just attaching it to the mesh wall of the chicken run with some clips. And before you can say, how many eggs would an egg layer lay if an egg layer would lay eggs? Job's done.
I reckon that is going to be a perfect little cover. So now I've just got to prep this area and get planting. It's always the thing when you're gardening with chickens, there's always going to be a couple of volunteers to give you a hand. So what do you plant for the chickens? Well, essentially you can plant anything lovely and leafy. And so I'm basing my planting plan on the things that traditionally they've nicked from my own vegetable garden. Things like silver beet, I've got beetroot, some brassicas and other leafy greens. And I always raise more seedlings than I actually need for the garden. It gives me that opportunity, if something fails, to fill a gap. But it also means I've got some hand-reared seedlings that'll be perfect for them. I'm putting heaps of silver beet up the front and some Brussels sprouts up the back. You can see that I'm absolutely jamming the seedlings in because I'm not worried about them reaching full size or maturity. Really, I just want lots of leaves for the girls. I've got some old seed of radicchio, some lettuce, some kale and a handful of wheat. I'll mix it all with a little bit of soil and then sprinkle it all on top.
And now the finishing touch as the cage is lowered into place and secured. Oh, and of course, the truly finish, just add water. Sorry girls, you're just gonna have to wait.
I also want to make sure that the girls can have a bit of fun when they're hunting down a meal. And so I'm going to put in an elevated feeder. I'm going to suspend this old hanging basket from the rafter and then I'm going to absolutely pack it with goodies that they have to jump and access in that way. It'll give them a bit of exercise and it'll keep them entertained for hours. One of the downsides of enclosing the whole chicken run is that it does limit my access. Previously, I could just hoik any old handful of weeds or rubbish from the garden straight into the run without having to go through the gate. But I've decided to put in something that I'm calling the snack hatch. So it is still just made with the same tools, the C-clips and the angle grinder. I don't know what you can't do with those. And it opens inwards. It's at a nice height, so I think it'll be really safe. I can have my roof on and access the girls too. For all of my little nifty systems, if you're going to do one thing for your girls, I reckon it is this. It is a bale of straw. They love jumping up, scratching the seeds out when it's new, and then over time, the manure hits it, the rain hits it, and it breaks down into beautiful compost. Every couple of weeks, I turn them over to reveal their non-veg option, because chickens are little dinosaurs. They need to eat meat as well, and you get so many insects and worms that'll work their way up in there. But really, I'm here to do anything I can to improve the life of the hens, because I love having them around. But they can be pretty destructive in the garden, so I'm hoping that these little systems are going to make sure we can all have what we want.